Hey, you there. Thank you for watching. And welcome to Forge Lines Forever. Today I have a 3v3 ladder matcher on the most amazing Nukes map generator. Let's go ahead and introduce our teams and our players, starting off with blue team here in the Northwest, also known as team number 1. And ending with team 2, also known as red team in the Southeast. Starting off with the frontline player for team 1, it's Stitch Blue. It is Strife going first line as a Seraphim. He is a 1542 rating. To his north in Amethyst Purple, it is Kicks 50. I'll call him Camp for short, going first line as an Aeon. He is an 1875 rating, the highest rated player on Team 1 and in the game overall. Again, he is an Amethyst Purple. And to his west in Royal Blue, we have Deus, 084 going first line as a Cybern, has a 1282 rating. So for Team 1 side of things, they have an Aeon, a Cybern, and a Seraphim. There is no UEF here for blue team in the north. Starting off with red team's frontline player in Ruby Red, we have Neverwester going first line as a Cybern. He is a 1557 rating. To his east, we have Lagavulin 16 going first line as a UEF. He is a 1612 rating, the highest rated player on Team 2 with a nice little ornate. No, I think that's a template, I would assume. He is, again, in orange, the color orange, has a 1612 UEF. And last but not least, in the rear, we have Katawonga going first line as a Cybern as well for his team. He is in Chevy Crimson at a 1552 rating, almost the exact same as his teammate of Neverwester at 57. So for Team 2 side of things, they have 2 Cyberns and 1 UEF, no access to Aeon and Seraphim technology. Let's go ahead for 6 players on the match. How much reclaim do they have? 4,500 for 6 players. That's almost 800. It's about 700 or so. That's actually not bad considering there is a lot of water on this map. Speaking of water and mass, that is a lot of territory to try to grab. I expect to see at least navies in the north and in the south. We'll see who ends up going which way. And in terms of mass points, honestly, this is probably, there's a Trimex position here. And that's, maybe that's a Trimex position over there in the east. That's really about it. It essentially will be Team Blue or Team 1 in the north with their little, Trimex position, and then Team 2 in the south with their little Trimex position in the middle. That's really about it. Couple of mexes on this little island here. But a lot of the fighting will occur either in the main land engagement here, as we can see with that little T1 Tham going after a T1 Mechs. We do see a nice little Snoop going to be able to provide some intel here for his team. But besides that, that's really going to be all the main concerns with land or sea engagements in the north, in the middle, and in the main southern water section. We do see that Tham being taken out by a Mantis. Another Mantis coming in to assist and does get the kill on that. This Mantis is the first kill of the game, I believe, in terms of unit kill. At least I think that's the first kill. Anyway, that is, I think, all the introductions. Mass, map. Yep, that is it. Hopefully everybody will enjoy this game. I made sure there is no desyncs, of course, as per my role as a caster, just to make sure that there's no issues with the cast itself. We do see a nice little drop coming out from Team 1's air player here of Deus. I'm going to say Deus again. I just know it. And he has a decent amount of engineers on board. He has 6 of them. He's going to drop here, it looks like. All the way down south. There's already a radar going to be built here pretty soon. Hydrocarbon coming online here for Katawonga. He doesn't have any sort of response to fight this. And he's building a naval facility. He just completed it, and he's going for air back there as well. That transport is inbound, but Team 2 will be able to see it here pretty soon, but will they have enough time to react to it? I don't really think so. They have seen it, and it will disappear right now. It does get pinged by Katawonga, but unfortunately the time is over, and that drop will commence. So Team 2 will have to deal with a nasty little incursion. There is a Mantis on its way. And I don't know if it's on its way directly to that location, but those engineers do get dropped here. And they're going to build a PD immediately to protect themselves, go for a radar, multiple factories. I love the inclusion of the radar, because then those PD can attack at range, at their full range, and force back those incoming offensive units. The Mantis does get primary. One engineer almost gets killed off, but it is still alive. The radar, of course, will be established, and this is what team... Actually, that is wrong player. This is the range at which they can see. They can see a decent amount of the map, so that those PD, a nice ability to fight very effectively. And it's just going to be spam, 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 spam all day here for Team 2. Sorry, for Team 1 on Team 2 side of the map. We do see a couple of engineers actually dropped off by camp as well, going after the T1 naval facility that was built by... I think that was that was Catalwanga's commander. So that will be denied here for Team 2 as well. Team 1 being very aggressive with their drops and just forcing Team 2 to constantly be on the defensive. That will work to a point. One facility will get established, but multiple of them were under construction. Some of them were stopped just due to the fact that the engineers building them were now dead. Engineer tries to move out of the way of that bomber. That doesn't happen. More bombers are inbound here for Team 2. Multiple T1 Sky Slammers, these mobile AA, trying to do their best, but there is an artillery online as well, trying to deal with them. And unfortunately, there goes that bomber. It's going to take out the engineer. Will the engineer move out of the way? No, it will not. This facility has to pump out engineers and offensive units, but the Calm of Catalwanga has fallen back to deal with this personally. Is facing off against 2 PD, which he should be fine with because he is a Calm and he has a decent amount of hit points. He's not going to be in fear of being taken out this early due to that. But another land incursion to the west, and man, it's just land, land, land spam all day. It has, however, given Team 2 the opportunity to have a nice little run by here on this eastern edge. Essentially very similar to what's happening on the southern side of the map, except instead of the units getting there by a transport, they just walked there or crawled there or wheeled there or trampled there. Trundled. I think it's trundled. I forget what the word is for the tracks. I remembered it a while back and somebody reminded me of it, but I forget. It's been a while since I've said the words. So the cruise kind of like nullified a lot of my brain. So I have to like rebuild it essentially. All that food, all that ocean water and whatnot. And I just made my brain a little mush. I'm trying to like, recoup it back to life essentially, but it's fine. Going on vacation, you just turn your brain off, and I guess I can't turn my brain off on vacation. That's fine though. I like using my brain. Anyway, T1 engineers being built, being brought over once again by that. I don't know if it's the same transport or a different transport. Doesn't really matter. Going for the quad position, quad facility 1 mechs set up where you get a lot of adjacency for that 1 mechs. And it's, unfortunately, I don't know if it's really going to work. It will be able to produce a couple of units, but there is a decent amount of land here for Catalwanga and his column, of course. And he's getting veterancy for himself as well. So the more he gets to kill, the more beefier he gets. And as Cyberns, I mean, their regen is, once they get for nano, that's essentially 100 HP a second. Not as good as the Seraphim ones, of course, but, still makes a difference, especially with facing off with a decent amount of T1 land spam. But how are we going in the north? 2 comms in the north here for Team 1. We haven't seen any comm-on-comm action, at least that I have noticed. We do see Naval in the ocean. I don't know if he'll go for the torpedo chest upgrade on board that commander. He is Cybern. He's the only one that has access to that. But this facility is not really going to go well. All 4 will finish, and a couple of Mantis will be built, but I don't know if it's really worth it. And Catalwanga will probably get pretty close to that first rank in veterancy, so it won't be in vain, and it'll be a lot of mass to scoop up as well. But there are a couple of T1 flares down here, just annoying. Team 2's Catalwanga, but those are dealt with, of course, as well. And it does look like he's also reclaiming those facilities that were half constructed or a little bit constructed here by Team 1. All 3 comms for Team 1 are relatively in the same location. One of them is, I don't know where he's going. It's not giving me a move icon. Looks like he's moving neither northward or westward. But look at this run by here by Team 2, by Red Team, all the way up here. Took out a ton of T1 mexes. And then it's now gone all the way into the rear. There is one T1 PD that just got built a couple of seconds ago. So fortunately for them, it will deal with a couple of these units. This T1 mechs will finish off the T2. But there is another T1 mechs that were taken out. So again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 mexes were killed off. I'd say that run by was very successful here by Team 2's Naval. And that just goes to show that, you know, you do a very aggressive job and your APM gets, you know, focused down here, kind of lose APM up here. And now it has given Team 2 the entire northeastern section of the map. Unfortunately for them, there's nothing really of importance up there in terms of mechs points. There is a T2 naval headquarters. This is also a UEF one, which means cruisers are definitely going to be built here. And speaking of which, that is a cruiser, as by the fact you can see there isn't a gun right where my little yellow dot is. Has a little bay for those missiles to launch from. Stealth is on the way here for Deos. He has gun already on board. Drive. Looks like he's going to be walking into the water to assist his naval facility. It looks like it's upgrading to T2. And Navarreser just hanging out. Looks like he's going to pop back out of the water and move over to the mainland. Navarreser's down here going for T2. Looks like he might go for some artillery or maybe even some just tickle cannons just to avoid any sort of drops in the future. But a couple of groups of Team 1 frigates are online for Team 1. So there are 2 players in Team 1 in the naval side of things. And Team 2 only has, well, none. So while Team 2 controls the northeastern section, Team 1 controls the bigger southwestern section, giving them a large shoreline to annoy Team 2, while Team 2 can only really annoy about this much. So huge advantage in that regard. And a couple of jesters are online, and interceptors are on their way to, well, intercept. Great grab by those jesters going after the radar, just kind of blinding their opponents. T2 should be built here pretty soon by both teams, so Team 1 radar loss isn't the worst thing on the planet, but, you know, it's still lost. They don't have any other radar up here, so it definitely blinds them for a little bit. So great grab by those. I always say you got to get intelligence and you got to get shields, and there are some cases where intelligence may actually beat out shields, but if you're being attacked, definitely shields a little more important. And now we see the, you know, just full breadth of the attack range from these missiles, just launching constantly without any sort of stopping. Team 1 now has to focus a lot more attention on going for Team D to stop this. And it doesn't look like Team 2's orange player of Lagavuli will stop. He's just going to produce... Oh, is that a destroyer? That's a destroyer. I don't know why he's going for a destroyer. Doesn't really need it unless Team 1 starts spamming out... Well, they are spamming out blazes, to be fair, so that will... That's probably why he's building that destroyer. We do see some Wagners, or Wagners, depending on where you're from, and how you pronounce the W, going and using their torpedoes to take out those facilities. They aren't going to stay in the water. They're going to go for land. A couple of Team 1 pigeons on there. Don't know if Team 1 just needed a couple of them very quickly. But T2 is online, and I think they're going to build some engineers, it looks like, first. The destroyer is also very, very great at taking out hover spam for, you know, just any other faction besides obviously Wagners, because they don't float. They're underneath the water. But Strifer's going to pop out of the water as well to deal with these Wagners. This isn't enough to kill him. It will annoy him at the minimum, but killing him definitely will not occur just due to the fact that the Wagners don't have as much DPS as their Rhino brethren. We do see stealth is going on the way here for Deos. He actually moved from this position into the water and then went for that stealth upgrade. And Strife actually has taken a decent amount of hit points. He's in the yellow. And he is getting some T1 spam support as well, but he's also getting some Corsair fire as well coming in to assist. So yeah, those Wagners will not be enough. But it did take him down a peg, so probably we'll think about going for Nano pretty soon. We are approaching 14 minutes in this game, and I feel like, I don't know what it is, but ladder matches just seem like they go by faster. I don't know, maybe it's because I don't slow down in the very beginning, but they feel like they go faster, in my opinion. Nano repair now on the way here for Deos. Maybe he'll just go for cloaking and be done with it, and just go all three back to back to back. And again, those cruisers not really being focused heavily. There is another one, looks like it's going to be built. No, that's another destroyer. I don't know why. Let's see, what's his? Do we see his build order? He's gonna go destroyer and then 5 cruisers and then some shields. I get wanting to deal with the hover spam from the blazes, but I mean, probably the cruiser is definitely more important. Team 2 is giving Team 1 a decent amount of time to build up some TMT defenses. And as you can see, they're getting enough online to really just say, no, we're good. We don't need to worry about more missiles because they're not really pumping it as much as we thought they would. But we'll see if that favors Team 1 or Team 2 as time goes on. More Wagners are just running on the map here for Nabarwasser in the southwestern side of things, and more coming out from Team 2's Katawunga. So both Siren players going for the quote-unquote hover spam, which isn't really hover spam because it's, again, under the surface of the water. They're not submersible, but they're amphibious, but they don't float. Which I don't know if that classifies as amphibious. I guess it does, but anyway. You can see the frigates are no match for the Wagners just due to the fact that they do not have torpedoes on board. The cruisers are now online here for Team 1 as well, so Seraphim have access to the very nasty ability of UEF to have cruisers pump out a missile, and it's just painful. I think most people have seen the very much annoyingness that comes from a spam of missiles from the sea. Especially if Team 1, who has an Aeon player, goes for missile ships. That would be not great for Team 2, just because that's a lot of range and a lot of missiles very, very quickly. Corsairs going after Team 1 Mechs, and I love that. They spread out their damage so they didn't overload the amount of hit points it took, or amount of damage it took to kill off the Mechs, and they killed them essentially simultaneous. Love that very, very much. But we do see some ASFs fighting, trying to protect those Corsairs. It's a 6v4 advantage, it looks like, but I think Team 1 might have it. There's a lot of spam here, interceptors and Corsairs, kind of distracting some of those missiles from the ASF, but it does look like the ASF from Team 2 do conquer the skies, at least in terms of the T3 fight, and that does, of course, indicate that both teams have access to T3 air technology, and one team has 2 players that have access to T3. Team 2 only has access to 1, but it is being upgraded to 3 or tier 3 as we speak. So looks like it's going to be 2 air players versus 2 air players here for Team 1 and Team 2. And I am very grateful. I don't know when the update happened, but I do not, as of right now, have that stupid glitch where it has the little icons in the bottom left-hand corner of my screen. So thank you to the FAF developers. I didn't notice it on the last 2 videos, but I did notice it now. So again, thank you so very much for that. I greatly appreciate it. I don't have to constantly deal with that when I'm trying to look at somebody's or something's information. We do see a couple of Wagner reach the shores once again, but they get stopped by some destroyers. Team 1 spam, a couple of gunships as well. The land, sea, and air operation here going on for Team 1. And a decent amount of Team 1 torp launches just to shoo away the Wagners to not have to deal with them, essentially, which is, again, smart, but I feel like destroyers would definitely be a better use of that mass just because they're more versatile. And the torp launchers aren't great. That's, in terms of quote-unquote PD versus AA or ground or naval, torpedoes probably need a little bit of a buff. Not as much, not a lot, but just a little bit to then make them a little bit more worth it. Because you never see just a spam of T1 or T2 torp launchers. You see that in obviously land all the time. But you just don't see it in the naval side of things. We do see another T2 naval facility online here for Team 1's Deus, and it's in the southwest section of the southwestern pond. And all those engineers are being killed off. These ones do not have hover. They are in the water, which means those Wagners can take them out. And there they go. They are gone. And those cruisers are not going to be built. There are a lot of frigates supporting a couple of destroyers. The destroyers are able to target them, of course, with their torpedoes built on board those ships. And unfortunately, the Wagners do not have torpedo defense, but the destroyers do. So definitely a benefit to destroyers in that regard. But if the Wagners focus on these, it might the T2 naval headquarters, they might kill it off. That there are 2 torpedo-capable ships here, it might just be enough. I don't know. I feel like those could be retasked for that headquarters. That'd be more value than just taking out a cruiser, a destroyer or 2. And we have a counterattack in the middle of the map here for Team 1, going after a couple of mechs here. The T2 tactical missile defense is going to go down, and more PDs being built to halt that advance. They're going to regroup here, and it looks like they're going to go on this western edge. Of course, there's a lot of spam over here, and Team 1's Deus is in the water with nano and torpedo built on top of built on the chest of that commander, going after the cruisers, I would assume, or at least the destroyers at a minimum, to take out the torpedo capable ships and then go after that. But there are a lot of Wagners nearby, and that could be very dangerous here for Deus. He does have nano. He's at 84 hit points per second region. It's not the best situation. If Team 2 notices this, or at least Naval notices this, he might go for it. There are a couple of Torp bombers inbound to go after him specifically. And there they go. They're inbound. And it does look like maybe a couple of torpedoes do launch from the Wagners over there. And Deus is going to start to probably retreat because there are torpedo bombers coming in constantly. ASF's coming in to assist that commander in getting to shore, or at least try to do what he can to dodge. But it's kind of hard to dodge torpedoes in the water. Not really a lot of places to go. Not like there is land. You have mountains and valleys and whatnot. But it looks like the torpedo bombers have been taken out, but it's not looking good. Deus is in the yellow, and the Wagners have come ashore, and Camps Calm is nearby, trying to come in and get underneath shield coverage to help defend. And the ASFs here for Team 2 will provide a nice little screen for any sort of gunship play that Camp tries to do, or any other player for Team 1. Maybe we'll see some strategic bombers come in to assist. Take out the shield, the engineers building the PD, do something. The Wagners actually taking out the T3 mechs first, then going after the T2 ones, ignoring the commander, which in partial share and full share games is probably the best idea, because you just don't give a bunch of resources to somebody else. And as we can see, Deus is still alive, and he's taking out some Coopers now. Looks like that was a destroyer that was taken out. He's at 3-star veterancy, working his way up to a 4th at almost 18,000 hit points and 96 hit point regen. And those Wagners are now going after him. They're kind of going after. Looks like the order has been given just to chase the commander down. Oh, nope, they stopped. They keep going back and forth. Camp is in the red. Stop 2,500, but it gets a rank in veterancy as I take a breath. And he is safe for now, and he'll probably hide underneath a shield and probably go for something, some sort of upgrade. But Deus is now at 4-star veterancy here. He takes out another Cooper, and those destroyers are going to get reclaimed. You never see that every day. Wait, no, is he? No, he's not reclaiming. I don't think you can reclaim a commander. It definitely looked like that, what that engineer was doing. I was just going after a wreck there. But it does look like most of the focus from the cruisers are focusing on this fire base here. There's a lot of TMD. There's a shield as well. More is being built as we speak to defend. That's not going to crack anytime soon. Team 1 doing a similar thing with their cruisers, but it does look like Team 2 is not as successful in holding them off for now. There is a decent fleet of destroyers and frigates in the water as well, protecting those cruisers. And the shore is definitely being depleted here for Team 2. Same here for Team 1. But again, the breadth at which Team 1 can attack versus the breadth that Team 2 can attack is definitely, there is a difference between the two of them, to be sure. T2 is online here for Naval, so 2 of the 3 players have T3, 1 player has T2, and it looks like all players on Team 2 have at least, probably have at least 1 T3 facility, but it does look like T3 land for both of the Sirens has been completed, while T2 Navy is just being pumped out here by Laga in the water. I'm surprised he isn't going to go T3 and go for summits, but that is a lot of mass and energy to invest, especially at 29 minutes and 23 minutes. And speaking of 23 minutes, let's take a look at mass income. Team 2 at 700, almost on the dot. Team 1 at 550, 570, maybe 600. Let's just say 600. So about 100 or so mass difference here between the two teams in terms of generation. Both teams have all of the players online and alive. Online and alive, I mean, you could have one player that's just going to have to step away. But all 3 players on Team 1 and Team 2 are still alive for now, so we'll see if they make it past the 30-minute mark. Usually in 3v3 ladder, it's not rare, but it's uncommon to see someone not die before 30, but it's definitely common to see no one die before 20, just because there's not really a lot of pressure to push to go. It's kind of a little bit slower in terms of aggressive plays. We do have a couple of torpedo bombers once again going after Deus, and they're dropping him into the yellow. And there are some T3 gunships nearby. They don't have any torpedo capable on those craft, but they're just kind of in the skies, annoying the ASFs inbound here from Team 1. There is additional ASFs inbound as well. And there's a lot of torpedoes coming off of some Coopers and some destroyers, and those bombers dropping in below 2,000, below 1,000. Oh, will he get away from all the torpedoes that are inbound? Sub 400. There he goes. He is Deus is the first casualty of the game, almost at 25 minutes, and it's now a 3v2 in favor of Team 2. And as I say, something that no one, it's kind of rare to see someone not die before 30 minutes. It actually does happen, so I don't know if that's confirmation bias or not, but, you know, it happens. Nearly finished. The first, I think, experimental of the game will be finished by Team 1's. Well, it was being built by Deus, but it's now being built by Team 1's camp. We do have a couple of Harbingers in the main base here for Team 2. That's not going to feel good. Going after a Hydro, or at least going after some power generators. Both of those are taken up by some bricks nearby. Maybe they're going after the... I mean, I don't really know what they were going after, but they were going after something, I guess. I don't see... Ooh, that's an interesting play. Are those fire beetles on board? Oh, I see a fire beetle. You can see it right there. No, that's not... No, that's not a fire beetle. That is a stealth field unit. I forget what they're called. It looked like a fire beetle with the kind of orangey blue pulse. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 transports loaded with some AA and some bricks. So that's going to be a very interesting drop. If that does actually make it, it is being blockaded. So the only avenue would be to go north and then west and drop it essentially right on top of Camp's Head. We'll see if that ends up happening. Team 2, again, still has the waters in the east, but Team 1 not really making an effort to do it, which I don't blame them because it's kind of a lost cause at this point. It's an uphill battle. There are some Harbingers being dropped off by Team 1's camp as well on the shoreline. We do see some Rambo preset commanders coming out from Team 2's Naval, and if you haven't catched yesterday's game, you'll know my opinion on SACU, especially combat preset commanders. They are, again, not OP, but they're definitely the meta. That's my take on that. But there are those transports inbound. Let's see if they end up making it. They do have some ASF escorts. Does Team 1 notice this? They do see the ASFs. They do not see the they kind of see the transports for a brief second. But those SACU presets are being very annoying here against Team 1's Navy. More and more engineers are being hurried over here, but they're just going to die to whatever unit is there guarding that shoreline. Team 1 does have some Salems. We could see some Salem invasion here on the southern side, but we will see. Says Katawunga. Yeah, the ASFs are just waiting right there. Almost like they either know or something. They're not going to risk that drop, especially with all that mass invested into those bricks. Where are they going to go now? Just kind of fan out. A lot of movement orders going back and forth here for Team 2. It looks like those are just the air scouts, just to provide constant surveillance. And of course, again, Team 2, its lead is very closed off here by Team 1. Team 1 actually surpassing them, I think. That might be a power generator thing or something. But, oh, yeah, there it goes. It jumps back up to 950. Oh, back down to 800. Yeah, probably a power generator. Yeah, oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, looks like 2 players had power issues. But Team 1 is catching up in that mass income game. We do see a couple of bricks make landfall as well, but that's a lot of T1P to fight through. They go after the engineers first. They could go after, go after the shield generator, so at least at a minimum you can take that out and then maybe send in some artillery. T3 Naval Headquarters is online, and he is producing those T3 nuclear-capable battleships. So, again, very deadly ships, access to the Seraphim faction. There is a Monkey Lord here for Team 1. We saw that built earlier on. We see a lot of torpedoes. They're now, quote-unquote, upgraded to T2. I say quote-unquote because just T2 versions were built. But as you can see, a lot of those torpedoes are actually just impacting the land. And those SACUs are like, nah, it's fine. You can see they just really can't get a shot on them. If the SACUs were further away, maybe. But a lot of those, actually, I think almost, if not all of them, are actually just missing. Definitely not a great situation for those torpedo launchers to be in, because you just can't fire on their targets. Grab looks like it is about to be finished here for Team 2's Naval. They're not going for Monkey Lord. They're skipping that first build that most Cyberns do. We do see some Torp bombers inbound here to assist the Monkey Lord in taking those SACUs out. And those SACUs now receiving those torpedo bombs in the face. That's not going to feel good. No. That's what that Monkey Lord says. No. You're not building flak here. Sorry. Not doing that. And that one Rambo is really suffering. 400 hit points a second is a lot of hit points a second. I think it's more than any of the Seraphim ones can muster. But I think one might die here. No, it is in the red. But again, 400 hit points a second is a lot to chew through. Especially with 19,000 hit points as well. It's just, they make them very annoying to deal with. And again, the 30 minutes in this game, we see a nuke now online here for Team 1's camp. You can see it is online. It hasn't been loaded yet. Looks like it was built, and that drop does end up occurring here. The one transport did get killed off, and this has done a great number here for Team 1's eco. We see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, plus all the ones that have been still offline for a while. And it's not feeling good here for Team 1's camp on this eastern side. He's being pushed back by land instead of Navy. So 1 up by land, 2 up by sea, if that's how the phrase goes. But that is a great job here. We do see a couple of AA units in the mix as well, just to, again, deter a couple of T1 bomber spam or even T2 gunship spam. We really have to, Team 1 has to really invest to take this out. You can see now just kind of ticking away or cutting away at a couple of ASFs. We do see some Corsairs inbound, and those bricks are going to move. But again, bricks are known for their tankiness, and so those it's going to take a while for those fighter bombers to really chew through those hit points. It's essentially just a long game here. We do see a crab going after a T3 battleship here, and that battleship has probably seen better days. It's not being microed as well as it probably should be. Pings do go down, saying, hey, there's a Monkey Lord coming on the shore, but Monkey Lord is now behind, actually in front of, and it's the crab on Team 2 is behind the Monkey Lord. It's going to force it into the water, and that crab will shoo away that battleship as well. Again, Team 2 has to be very cautious because those do produce nukes or can produce nukes, so again, very careful taking those out early. Especially with Team 1 producing a standalone nuke launcher as well. Does Team 2 does know about it, so there should be no excuse for any SMDs that, you know, should be built/loaded. We do see one almost loaded, so that one will be fine. This looks like an artillery piece just because of the 4 P-gens set up. And shields already built as well. I love this. The shields are built and the P-gens are built. So he's when he goes, oh, I want to build it now, and just built it. Nope, he's going to build a crab instead. But Navarwester needs an SMD online. There's one over here. It is loaded, but it can protect him, but he can be edged out if the nuke lands right here. So, and these players are decently skilled. They will edge nukes out if they are paying attention. Because it's, you know, sometimes you don't, and that's just what happens. ASF severely in the hands for Team 1. Team 1 has a ton more. 85. Actually, I can go Control A. We have 85, 86, and 50. So we have 130 for Team 1, purple player of camp, and for Team 2's air player / naval player, we have 61. So definitely outnumbered. Essentially 3 to 1, 2.5 to 1, 2.25 to 1. And again, those cruisers just being very annoying. I'm surprised Team 1 didn't build any sort of T2 artillery to just annoy this, but that has some multiple bulwarks, multiple cruisers. There's Coopers to deny any sort of nonsense with any comms or whatnot. There are a lot of torps being built here in the northwest as well, so it might try to take out those cruisers. But again, it's a lot of hit points to chew through, and more of them are being built all the time. T3, nope, just still churning out T2, which I guess in that pond is probably better just due to the fact that he doesn't have to invest as much and can focus more on air. We do see the crab jumping out of the water, but gets stopped immediately by a Colossus, and unfortunately that crab will not win that fight, especially with a battleship. Actually three battleships, excuse me, just firing on it, constantly assisting that Colossus. But there are some missiles inbound going after the T3 naval headquarters, and they will take it out. Great grab here by Team 2's Navalwasser. You can see the line of missiles, and yep, that T3 naval headquarters was in range. The grab does die, but great grab here by Team 2. Great grab. And again, if you haven't done so already, please like the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Thank you so much for watching to this point in the video. I would encourage everyone to continue to watch. And again, please share this video if you do find it good enough to share to anyone, everyone, and especially your pets. And how's that nuke launcher going? It's a little over half done. I don't see any sort of plans to end the game except for the nuke from Team 1 and Team 2. And there is a possible disruptor or something that could be built here. Cloaking coming online here for Kanawanga. He has laser. Very interesting that he would go cloaking and not teleporter. There is a Monkey Lord on board over here. We'll see. Maybe that's his target. Oh, we'll just have to check that out. Lots of crabs being built by Team 2. I feel like Team 2, and the missiles were very good. It slowed down Team 1's production of those T3 battleships, but it is a lot of mass and energy to funnel into that crab, and it can't fire at those actually that is the wrong player, at those battleships. You can see this is the range that the battleships have, and this is the range that the crab needs to have. It's not as great. It's in the red, but oh, artillery going in, missing. Oh, maybe they can't fire at stuff that close. Oh, it's also under the it's also under the water, so that doesn't help. That could definitely explain the whole not targeting the crab situation. The monkey down south going after a lot of bricks and some bouncers, but that monkey will die very quickly, unfortunately. And now be just a nice little mass gift here for Team 2 on the southern edge of the map. Again, kind of surprised that I don't see any massive efforts by Team 2 to go for, game ender, artillery. Again, this looks like it could be artillery. It's just, oh, nope, it's up here, not down there, where it's already primed, ready to go. But it's going to be one built here. And I don't see any sort of other plans. There is now an SMD protecting Navalwasser. Isn't loaded, but we have some T2 torp bombers. Was a distraction to take out the ASF here for Team 2, which, if that was the goal, definitely worked. They are fighting over some SAM coverage. I mean, again, Team 2 will definitely not be in a great situation, but Team 1 has lost actually a decent amount of ASF as well. Kind of a net zero for both teams. And Team 1 lost a bunch of torp bombers that they could easily go after over here. We do see a nice little megalith going after ships in the pond in the northeast. There are some Coopers in the water. At least there were some at some point, but they have might been taken out. Oh, there's still a couple here. But again, 121,000 hit points is a lot of hit points to chew through. And this base is, again, not going anywhere anytime soon. Team 2 needs to invest in not direct fire, but shell-capable artillery in the form of summits to really deal with that. And again, those battleships really just forcing back Team 2's operations on the shoreline. Please scout more, says Deos. Yep, that's definitely something that needs to occur for both teams, not just one team. We do see one com in the water here for Team 2's Lagavulin, and we see a lot of just Team 1 air scouts back here, kind of hanging out, just because why not? We have a donut coming online here for camp in the north. I feel like this position not really working out, especially with that crab just constantly throwing torpedoes at them. Attack from the depths, and it's not really working out here for Team 2. They need just a bunch of torp bombers or something to deal with this. If Team 2's naval/air player isn't paying attention, he'll lose his entire fleet. Definitely not the situation he wants to be in. But again, that crab's going to make his way once again to the edge of the water, force these battleships back. One of them is severely wounded. The other one is also severely wounded. This one is in the yellow. I don't know if there is a command order to attack. No, it's just going to be whatever's nearby, essentially. There's a secondary crab coming in. They're not attacking the one that is severely wounded or is decently wounded. They're attacking this one. But that first crab does take out that first battleship. Oh, it doesn't get that, but the missiles were coming in to take out the one on the left. Oh, that was close, though. That battleship has less than 300 hit points left. Literally one shot or breath would have killed it. This one's at essentially 7,000. But 3 crabs here for defensive measures. Team 2, they probably need some actual ships in the Navy to really fight back at Team 1. There is a Galaxy down here for Team 1 as well, and an aircraft carrier for a nice little amount of AA to deal with any sort of spy planes that may coast on over. And the gunships could easily just fly over there and deal with that. And now they're being attacked by battle. It's just hard. It's hard to see only ground-capable weaponry taking out aircraft, regardless if it's a gunship, if it's an ASF, if it's whatever. It's just hard to watch. It's very hard to watch. But that disruptor is coming online. Not super slow, but it's coming. As we're getting into the 40 minutes, another artillery. This time it's from Team 2 coming online. And do we have any sort of game ender or long-range strategy plays here for Team 1? That is a massive grid here with an amount of air facilities, some mass fabs as well. We do see an attack once again here in the north. I don't know if it was transport or not, but it's going after T3 Mechs once again. That Tsar is about half done, and a crab is coming for defensive measures. Doesn't work necessarily a second time, but Team 2 does know about the Tsar now. That crab is moving up the middle. The one thing that did make the middle very hard to fight in is there's a lot of these one-off mountains, and so it makes it very difficult for large armies to traverse, as evidenced by the fact that a giant T4 crab still has trouble doing with it. But we do finally see at 50 seconds in this game that actual shell-capable weaponry in terms of the crab is actually taking out the shields. This position will finally be taken out for a essentially been a thorn in Team 2's side for a very, very long time. Nuke 1 is loaded. The second one is 3/4 the way. Ooh, we have a Yolana Osk under construction, and I love the preset, the nice little template. I think those are T2. Those are T2. These are T3. We have T3, 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 and then T2, and then I think another T3. I don't think he needs the P-gen there, but it does get some adjacency that is very beneficial. Lots of, that is a lot of T1 PD, and he has an SMD right there as well. Would have preferred that probably next to the shield a little bit, but it does look like there's one on either side, so that's always good. And then I think that's a radar, because what that is. That could be a stealth field. I don't remember the symbol off the top of my head, the hologram, but a nice little air fight over the top of Team 1's front line. That means all of the ASFs that die here will go to Team 1, and it looks like for the first time in the game, Team 2 might have this. Team 2's ASF fall back to get some coverage from the cruisers, and that works definitely well here for Team 1. The gunships are going after the crab. The gunships will die off. The Tsar has now been completed and is now escorting a couple of Harbingers on the land. Team 2 definitely gets the better end of the stick there, better end of the deal in that regard with the ASFs. I think Team 2 has air control, not dominance, but control. We do see a couple of Rambo presets kind of running around here for Team 2 as well. Coming out from, I think that's Naval. Yep. 1 second says camp, and that was what that pause was for. More T3 battleships. Team 2 has a very large hill to climb with all of these TMD. They need a massive amount of them. And I love the fact that the ships for this airframe kind of just grow. I do like that kind of concept. They start out very, very tiny and they grow to these giant ships. And due to the fact that they are playing on a red sand map, the blue does make it look very Tron-esque because it's like a darker color on top of a very not very bright, but semi-bright color as well. It's stitch blue, not that royal blue. It's a little darker. It does really make the ships feel like they're glowing. That's the feel that I get from that dichotomy between a very dark main color and a semi-decently bright secondary color. But artillery is being launched here by Team 2. Do they know about the YOLO? And my guess would be no. my guess would actually be wrong. They do know about it. They just haven't marked it yet. And the ASF are going after that Tsar. There's a lot of actually AA over this base as well, so it does look like there was another air fight, and it's now just a net 0, except Team 1 now has a Tsar, and it's going after the Crab. Camp is retreating in the face of that, and the Crab is going after some Pigeons. We'll get 1, 2 of them. Actually, we'll probably get 3 of them by the time he... Oh, no, you can... Oh, that's disappointing. Could have taken out some engineers in that regard. It's not going to be saved by the fact that the Crab is going in the water. The Tsar has some depth charges on board, so it means it can target those units in the water. But artillery is raining in. I haven't seen any really strat bombers so far. Just a bunch of T2 torps running around, and obviously ASF and the gunships. ASF's coming once again here for Team 2. They're trying to kill off the Tsar. And they don't get it at 3,000 hit points. And that Crab will die off. Even if the Tsar did die, there's a Colossus that's waiting for that Tsar to pop out of the water. So realistically, Team 1 is just... I mean, it's annoying. It's not an issue. Naval finally notices the YOLO that's being built. But Team 2's artillery has taken out one of the air grids. That's definitely going to hurt Team 1's ability to fight in the air. They do have a lot of AA to protect themselves, so that is a benefit to them. A lot of mobile AA here for Team 2 as well. They're protecting the investment down here in Pigeons and Soothsayer. But I don't see, again, the perfect position to put an artillery, but you're not doing it. Why? Why aren't you doing this? Why? The Duke is now online, so Team 2 has 2 artillery, third one being constructed. And now it's going to be shielded. Again, everyone probably knows how I feel about shields. You need them before. But I do understand if you have a particular build order, or you just want to build it stealthy, or whatever the case may be. Because Team 1 does not know about it. So that is a thing. We see the battleships now being brought to the forefront here for Team 1's camp. But I don't think they're going to go anywhere, unfortunately, because there's a Crab right here. And there is artillery built here by Team 2, so it will kind of shove these away. It's not miasmas. Miasmas would be more annoying because of their lingering damage, but, you know, it's still good. We see TMD now lining this little kind of bay area, and I see a bunch of ships being like, I can't. Guys, can we please move? You have a bunch of stuff in the way. And torp launchers as well, just in the water. Again, they're not as effective. I think harms are the only ones that realistically should be used en masse. They're the most effective. I don't think it's worth the mass investment to go for these. Just don't think it is. But the T2 cruisers still reign supreme, and the TMD is falling a little bit, but there is more TMD being built, and there are volcanoes over here to the north, so those missiles need to quadruple in size. There is a nice little Crab hanging out over here in the water as well, waiting to pounce. There are a couple of engineers roaming the battlefield for some mass. How is that YOLO? It's in the green. We have some assistance coming out here. No, it's just built by Team 1's Strife. He has some Cybran assistance as well. Yeah, there's some Cybran engineers gifted to him by Deus or by Camp, depending on who owned them at the time. The artillery is now raining in on top of that YOLO. Again, it's 2 artilleries. If I think 4 of them do get built, which the 3rd one is under construction and the 4th one is as well. If all 4 get built, that should be enough to crack the shielding on that YOLO. But that YOLO, of course, it's known for its nukes, and they load very quickly. So Team 2 needs some SMD right stat. We do see an attack on the ground with dual Crabs assisted by some Harbingers. There are dual Crabs coming in as well here for Team 2, so it looks like it might be a net 0 here for Team 1 and Team 2, and there are some broadswords online as well to defend, so I don't think it's going to get as much work as he thinks it done. But the Crabs are going to get pretty close to those disruptors, and those Crabs and bricks need to engage. There are some of those Rambo presets as well. It's going to stop the movement of the Harbingers at a minimum, but all of the firepower needs to be focused on both of the Crabs The Harbingers aren't going to pose as much of a threat just due to the fact that, you know, they are going to be EMP'd. But the crabs have stopped moving, which means they will not come into range of the disruptors. Those will be fine for now. The battleships and literally anything and everything in the water is funneling all of their attacks on the crabs. So first crab will die. First crab will die here for Team 1 and Team 2. The second crab will die very, very quickly here for Team 1. And Team 2 is receiving a lot of firepower on this crab, but the monkey lord will assist in protecting his bigger brother of a crab. But that crab is facing a very, very big uphill battle. There's even a donut in the sky in the distance. Multiple aircraft carriers and a huge amount of bricks. Swarm them with torpedoes from the ocean, essentially. Look at this nonsense. Look at this. Look at this, just a horde of bricks running around. They took out a battleship. There are some torp launches in the pond here, but I don't know if it's really going to make the difference with that amount of bricks, but there are some aircraft carriers being taken out as well. That's got to hurt. Will the monkey come in range and take out the aircraft carrier? No, because the crab will do it for him. Missiles are raining in. Hopefully they didn't go after a target that was already killed off. Here they come. They're being, I think, shot down by some TMD. But it does look like they're targeting the battleships that were built up here. They take out another battleship. Oh, those missile launches getting a lot of work done here for Team 2's Naval. But there is a nuke launch. Is there an SMD to protect this place? There is. And it has 4 loaded, so it's 2 nukes that can sway away. There is a nuke launcher online here for Team 2. Definitely not the well-placed thing. They knew about the YOLO. They need to build SMD. That's what they're doing down here. At least they're building more of them at a minimum. There it goes. Oh, wow. It actually was able to turn. So, not... I thought there was an SMD. Oh, no. It was taken out, I guess, or Control K or something, but I don't think he would have Control K'd it. That was a YOLO, says Naval. Yeah, team... I think it was... Somebody pointed. Yeah, it's right. It's literally right there. It's on screen. Like, you zoom out and you can see YOLO right there. You've had artillery targeting it for the past 10 minutes, I think.
Strategic launch
Another
detected.
nuke has been launched. How is the pretty little formation coming along? Well, that YOLO is very nice and plump here. Fields are popping on and off. And yeah, there are T2 and T3. The benefit being that T3 are bigger and T2 are smaller, so the shield overlap isn't as bad in terms of, you know, the splash damage on multiple shields. I do love the fact that he's building more shields, because we only saw a few of them built. But he's focusing on the right side. He should put maybe a couple more on the southern side, because that's where the artillery is coming in from. But obviously the artillery can obviously miss and go up here to the north. But you can see one shot directly, essentially, towards the center of that formation. Do not tell me he's going to use the Tsar to body block artillery shells. Please do not tell me he's going to do that. Because not the best situation to do that, and especially with the shield being recharged. Maybe it did take a hit. Who knows? Another YOLO has been launched from its silo. Laser coming online here for Team 2's Navalwasser, but the amount of T1 PD, you would have to be on top of that. The PD would have to be disabled, and you'd have to very big miracle, and I highly doubt he's going to get that miracle. That is a lot of PD to chew through, or to, you know, be targeted by. But that massive wave of bricks we saw earlier is now crested the land, but there's a Colossus nearby, a Tsar nearby, a couple of aircraft carriers, and a battleship. This is not going to go well. The Donut has been taken out. Will crash land on top of some of those bricks, and the Colossus will be fine. Honestly, I think at this point, you might as well redirect all of this to the Colossus, kill that off, and then go for the YOLO. But the YOLO going to impact just next door. Point defense YOLO, because why not? We have a lot of bricks coming in. You take out some engineers, and the bricks going to come in and take out some of that air grid, at least try to take it out at a minimum. Chicken has been built very, very quickly, but the YOLO, will it kill off the Colossus? Colossus actually running away with a couple of... come on, bricks, come with me. Be protected from the YOLO. And most of those bricks were taken out. It does look like a couple of the air facilities and pigeons were also taken out, but a slight loss. Not the worst thing on the planet. Not the best, but obviously not the worst thing. Could have lost the whole thing. And more. But there is now a crab over here in the... What? 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 Okay, then. And now we have a Rambo preset running around as well. That crab is getting very dangerously close to the Aiolo, but there's a lot of Team 1 PD. There's also a monkey that was just built. The crab will not have enough hit points to chew through all those shielding. They'll get through some of it. Maybe the artillery will come in and take that out as well. But the crab is down. You know, that visual of what's going on with that crab as well. But that SACU just running around taking a lot of shots. You can see, oh, look at the T1 and T2 PD just raining into that thing. And how is that artillery doing? There's only 2 still online. But the YOLO looked like it was able to land and take out all of the artillery that was built here by Navalwasser. That's gotta hurt. And of course, oh, I forgot. Kaboom! Too many SMDs. Wait, what? Too many. Oh, too many SMDs. And now we have a scath that's being built here by Team 2's Katawanga as well. He's going for teleporter. That's why, I mean, in a map like this, strategic launch detected. Cloaking isn't necessary. We have seen games where it does prove very nice to have, but I mean, when one team's going for YOLO, it's kind of like, what's the point in going for cloaking? Teleporter has been completed by Navalwasser. He has Telemazer online. We have, of course, Katawanga going for Telemazer and a Scathis. YOLO is inbound to take out those artillery in the east. 2 of them were built here by Team 2's orange player of Lagavulin 16, but that SMD is being dried up very, very quickly, and that nuke is going to launch once again. Again, lots of PD to chew through, lots of shields, lots of everything. Some of the shields are starting to fail, but then more pop back online. So that is the... there's still 2 artillery, but there's still shields. It's not enough. Team 2 needs maybe a strap bomber rush. They need something to pierce through most of the shielding, and then the artillery kills the rest of it. We do see Team 2 fighting back in the naval side of things as well with some bricks and a megalith. But Team 1 has really just used this as just, hey, don't come over here kind of thing. Not pressuring Team 2 on the southern side. Nuke again, says Deus. And, I mean, yeah, Team 2's Navalwasser is moving. It's going to move over here, I guess, into the water and then call it a day. That little spy plane will be taken out, though. Looks like it's actually being targeted directly by that comm. There goes the nuke. Strap bombers actually have been built by Team 2's Katawanga. And they actually take... That's actually what was taking out that spy plane. That nuke is inbound. And unfortunately, don't think there's any SMD. They're all not loaded. And the SMD here is also not loaded. But that's not going to feel good. More SMDs were going to be planned to be built. But those are definitely not going to finish. Strap bombers going to get caught in the blast. That is not... What? Wait. Hold on. Where'd the nuke go? Did it actually get shot down? Maybe it did get shot down. Yeah, it looks like these loaded just in time or something. What? Is there an SMD I don't know about? It definitely got launched. I watched it, but, looks like it was shot down. Artillery still raining in. The shields are almost down. The shields are almost down. It looks like we might have to focus a little bit more on that. Just watch that artillery coming. Ooh, it takes out a couple of some emitters and some PD. Let's see, we do see a crab over here. Actually, not a crab. That is a monkey lord. Looks like the comm of Lagavulin is actually nearby a Continental, hanging out with him. He has nothing on board that commander. But Navalwasser teleports in and gets immediately destroyed by Team 1. It's now a 2v2 game. Team 2 lost their first player at 54 minutes, and the shields are now back online. And how is the artillery still doing? How's the SMD coverage? It's one is about to be loaded. We have 1, 1, 1, and then 1. So 4 SMDs down here with 3 more and 4 more. So definitely will be protected for a while. It's just Team 2 cannot teleport in just due to the fact there's so much PD. But that nuke does land. Oh, and there it goes. Takes out the rest of those artillery. And I think the split is not really necessary anymore. Move that back over. I heard AoE explosions. Some SACU Rambo presets. Those were... One of them was killed off. That's not going to land anytime soon. Reclaim says Naval Western. Yeah, there is still a decent amount of reclaim. 75,000 right there. There is almost 300. Actually, it was for a second 300,000 reclaim on the map. Most of it residing with. It's kind of split between Team 1 and Team 2. I think most of it's on. I think the southern edge of the map. So there goes those SMDs taking out those that nuclear missile, but. We have a Monkey Lord has made landfall. Didn't go after the T2 naval headquarters, though, very surprisingly. Will it pop out its head? Yes, it will. Will it take it out? No, it will not. Strap Bomber's coming to assist, but the AoE explosion, I think, from the Strap Bomber actually killed off the T2 naval headquarters. That's gotta hurt. But I guess it was gonna die anyways. That ends the production of those. But a nuke now gonna go after the Navy. We have some Fat Boys being built underneath the surface of the water. Those are definitely not going to finish due to that nuke being inbound. And I feel like at this point, unless Team 2 is building the Scathis and it's almost done, I might just speed it up just a little bit because, I mean, kind of a little bit stale right now. There goes the nuke. Kaboom! Takes everything out. Actually, a couple of cruisers remain, but definitely not what the fleet once was. In the middle, the fleet's also gone as well here for Team 1. Team 1, again, focusing heavily on the loading of that nuclear missile from the YOLO and just producing ASFs to protect it. Team 2 didn't really use the air advantage when they had it. And here comes the nuke. The Scathis is built, so we have to hit it back down. Maybe we'll split it again. Going after the YOLO here in the northwest and going after the Scathis here in the southeast. Kind of want to get building more and more SMDs. The only downside with this, building the Scathis in terms of maybe difference between them and the Maver, is the fact that Team 2, that gun is designed for spread. I mean, it did take a lot of the shielding out. Look at that. Half the shielding, actually all the shielding on the left side is gone. So it's not really the best example, but the Maver does a lot of, it's essentially a scalpel versus a baseball bat. Scalpel is very precise. It goes after single targets. And the baseball bat of the Scathis or watering can, whatever you want to call it, goes after a wide range of targets, but not as much damage as the Maver. So I get where he's coming from. Obviously going for the Scathis, he's also Cybran. That's, just faction and all that. But, it's a lot better for taking out a lot of air grids, for taking out stuff like that. But, I think a torpedo bomber just took one of the shells from that Maver. Not Maver, from that Scathis. More shields are being hastily built as well by Team 1 to protect it. Team 1's main player, or frontline player of Strife, is the one focusing on that, while Team 1's other player of Camp is focusing on just defenses and whatnot. The shields, they're staying online. Luckily, some of the shells do impact kind of out a little bit in no man's land. But it's just, we do see another resurgence of the Navy here on the southern side for Team 1. We also see a donut. We also see a megalith under the surface of the water as well. Both teams are in this position where they don't have enough to kill one another, but they have enough to annoy one another. Another nuke is inbound, going for over here, but one SMD goes in, going after just some T3 mexes. More SMDs are being built, but I don't know if it's really worth it. Look, it just got finished, and there it goes. Engineer is still alive somehow. Still alive. Still alive. Still alive. Oh, there it goes. Like, dang. Wally over there survived the apocalypse. Nice group of strap bombers with some transports to shield them a little bit, but still hasn't done anything with them. And Team 1, I see some Corsairs. Lots of ASFs over here protecting that donut. I don't think Team 2 is going to go for that.
Strategic launch detected.
Don't know if it's really enough. Shells constantly landing around. Some of the air grids actually taking some of the flak as well from that. But Team 2-1 and Team 2 are kind of in this position where, like I said, they're kind of just stuck. Where they're just going to keep doing what they're doing. But I don't think it's enough to kill one another. If the Scathus goes down for Team 2, I think that's it. And if the YOLO goes down for Team 1, they have a little bit more to fall back on, but not by much. Not by much. Hopefully everybody's enjoying the cast. I might actually speed it up just a little bit. Please let me know what your favorite moment has been so far. Again, strats still have been built up. They're looking for an avenue in. There's just a lot of AA coverage all around this place to really protect this YOLO. But the only way to really go forward is to go up and left and go up over here and then move in. It's just you're facing actually not as much as I thought. Oh, there's a couple lines of them. All the artillery just constantly raining in. If Team 2 were able to build a second Scathus, I think that might be it. Transport on board with Lax, Commander running around, Strat Bombers going after that Monkey Lord. Some of them might be actually caught in the blast of this YOLO. Oh, maybe the comm will be as well. Oh, he's fine. Doesn't look like the transport took maybe a couple of damage on the shield, but he's fine. The YOLO's just constantly landing. It's just not stopping. It's not going to just waste all of the nukes on this SMDs. It could. But here it comes. There's a bunch of battleships in the water. I see some Strat Bombers being built. I think this might be the attack. I'm going to unsplit it. The Scathus I don't think will break through. Here's the group of strats I saw. But this amount of forces here in terms of battleships and aircraft carriers might be enough to break through the shielding. Or it might just be enough to break the shielding for the bombers to move in. They haven't been given the order yet. There's about a squadron or so. Scathus still raining in. Still hasn't broke through the shielding. I like how there's just an Awasa bomber just in the middle of that little hill there. Team 2 is fighting back with all of their crabs, taking out a couple of their battleships, now taking out the aircraft carriers. I feel like that would have been the time to go with the Strat Bombers just coming right before this happened. There's the donut still that they have access to. There's a missile ship online here for Team 1 now. That's huge. Just taking out all of the mass here on Team 2's right side of, or north and right side of the map. Laga has given everything over to his teammate of Katawanga. Team 1 producing 1.1k mass. Team 2 at 665. Nukes will not stop. And the ASFs are going to go after the donuts. There's a lot of AA they're going to fly through, and the ASFs coming in to assist. The donut is dead. I think this is what Team 1 wanted. They wanted the ASFs to engage. The ASFs immediately turn tail and run. Still, I mean, that's a lot. Oh, this might be it. This might be it. The Revenants have turned on their stealth, or sorry, their radar. And another nuke just lands, taking anything and everything out that still remains over there. They're grouping up. That is a decent amount of strats.
Strategic launch detected.
32 strats. Jeez, that's 2.5 squadrons. And the strats have been given the order to move. We're going to slow it down and watch the ensuing chaos. We'll turn off all the icons. Kind of get a nice little view from behind. Actually, we'll probably watch them from this side. Watch them come in. You hear the bombs being dropped. Let's scat this. There's the Scathus right there. Here come the bombers. They're right here. A couple of them are going to be shot down by some AA, but their bombs are still dropping. ASF's going to fly in and try to protect. The shields are failing. Just a couple more and the shields will be offline around it. There goes the Scathus' shields. The bombs drop. There goes the Scathus and the reclaim for it. The ASFs do fight, but Team 2 has lost their game ender. And the ASF fight will ensue. That's, again, Team 2 has lost their main weapon of attack. New Scathus at 5%. It's not really going to be built in time. There's a lot of missiles coming in from the missile ships in the north. And there's a lot of artillery and AA taking out all of the ASFs just kind of just hanging out there. Nuke's just going to keep launching. And the Awasa bomber has been finished as well. And it's just not going to look good here for Team 2. Katawanga, are you going to? Yes, you are. You are going to teleport in. And at this point, we might just wait to see. Might speed up just to 1. About half ready to go. He's going to go straight in the back and take out this position. Not going to go for the YOLO because that's going to instantly kill him. There's a Megalith bearing down his door. Oh, there he goes. Goes over here, takes out this little air grid here to the west. Is he going to go? Where's he going to go next? Going to go back to his base. But the Awasa bomber is inbound, going to take out some of the shielding for those missiles to come in and wreck. Most of those SMDs are now dead. But Laga sees the writing on the wall. He control Ks. Awasa bomber is taken out by the AA. Gathis is being built. It's in the yellow now. Like I said, I don't think this is going to get very much of space. And then there goes the explosion for the comm. GG. Deo, sorry for bad playing. Says camp, but well played. Love the camaraderie and the positivity here from the players. And Catawonga says GG, and he will control K as well. And that is the game, folks. At 1 hour, 5 minutes, and 55 seconds, Team 1 wins the game. And I mean, Team 2 just they had they took out any sort of resistance in the northeast, constantly rained in missiles, which was good to have, but Team 1 easily could beat that back, and it essentially was just a dead end for Team 2 for constantly landing those missiles or constantly launching those missiles. Team 2 had a better actually grab of it with those missiles coming out from the base over here from, I think that was from Nabarwasser, taking out that T3 naval headquarters and a couple of battleships as well. That's a lot of missile ships. It's just, I think Team 2, they had opportunities, they had strats, they probably could have at least tried to go for it while they had artillery. Between the Scathis, the artillery, the T3 artillery, it could have been enough. And they combined everything together, but I just didn't think they had one concerted effort. So they were kind of trying to slowly bleed Team 1 dry. It just didn't really work that way. And Team 1 kind of just held out enough to just spam with the amount of nukes that they spammed out to just overwhelm their opponent. And then they built more shielding just to protect it. That nice, beautiful little template got cut in half, and shields replaced it. But that's obviously a good thing to replace that template with. But again, I think MVP goes to Strife. I think he's the one that really solidified Team 1. He built the YOLO. He constantly annoyed Team 2 with his battleships in the naval side of things. He was just very solid, I think, in the game, and I think that's what propelled Team 1 forward. And Team 2, they did a very good job as well, but it wasn't enough to win, obviously, because they lost. But again, let me know down in the comments what you think about this game. Hit me up. That's not what I want. That's not what I wanted to say. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Thank you so much for watching. Please share the video. And again, thank you so much for watching, and I will see all of you in the next one.